Hi, this is Steve from YourCreativeLife.com, talking today about what you can expect in your first general meeting. Now, we talk about general meetings, and you may not have even heard that term before, but in the world of Hollywood, in the TV writing game, there are specific meetings for specific projects. Let's say it's a showrunner meeting to get on a TV show, or a pitch meeting to pitch a project of yours to somebody else, or a meeting around an OWA, which is short for Open Writing Assignment, where you might specifically be talking about a particular kind of property, intellectual property that somebody has, where you might go in to talk about your thoughts or your take in that meeting. Now, all of those are very specific, but a general meeting is basically where somebody who's never met you before, whether it's an agent or a manager or a studio head or a small production company or an executive, they basically ask to meet you. And these can happen from either your own personal contacts, where somebody says, hey, let's have a meeting, come sit down and chat, or where if you have an agent or a manager or somebody else who knows you, who recommends you to somebody, you might get called in for a general meeting. So what the heck is that? And what can you expect there? Well, the bottom line with all of these meetings, I think in some ways, even the ones that are specific, if there are people that you haven't met with, is it's more or less like a first date. You're going to go in and they're going to ask you all sorts of questions. You should definitely take a look at my video about how to take a meeting and how to prepare for meetings. But basically, what people want to know is, who are you? What kind of stuff do you write? Are you user friendly and personable? And is there a future in connecting, collaborating, talking with you about future projects or jobs or things like that, right? So what makes sense in a meeting like that, in the general meeting, is for you to look for those questions. Somebody's going to ask you, somebody's going to say, tell me about yourself. And then you'll do that with the techniques that I talk about in those other videos. Which I'll definitely link at the bottom of this particular video. But they'll ask you to tell you about themselves, or tell them about you, is what I mean to say. And they'll also ask you things like, what have you been up to? What kind of creating do you do? What kind of writing have you done? What kind of writing are you interested in? What kind of TV shows do you watch? What did you think of this particular show or that particular show? Any of those things are game because, again, they're trying to find out who you are as a general human being, what your artistic aesthetic is, how conversational you are, and how user-friendly you might be. And all of the reasons for that are when in the future, when it comes time for them to, if it's an agent or manager, if they send you out to meet on something, they want to know, oh, he's going to be really great in conversation, or she's going to be really fun, or oh, she's a little bit stiff. And so we need to maybe talk to her about that or whatever. So they kind of want to know who you are and test out your personality and basically the energy of who you are and what kind of writing you do. Now, these things should not scare you because it really is like a first date or the first time you meet anybody at a party or a dinner or whatever at the beach or at the movies, or when you encounter people, they certainly want to know the same things. Who are you? What are you about? Do we get along? Is there conversation to be had? What do you do? What do you like? Those sorts of things. So it can be with a little bit of meditation and prayer and energetic space to really just be yourself so that you can express all of those things that you are so that people know. Now, if it is a general meeting, there may be specific things that you want to know too. And so again, if you look at my videos about meetings that I will link below this video, you can find out all about the kinds of things, the checklist you'll want to make in order to ask questions specifically of a manager or an agent. What kind of people do you represent, and what kind of projects have they been out for, and what kinds of ways do you like clients to be in touch with you, and what are you watching today, and all of those things that where it becomes an even exchange. The last thing I guess that I will say to you about these general meetings is to really bring with you a sense of being a peer, being an equal, not in an offensive way, not that you're going to sort of tell off-color jokes, but that really the place and the space of these meetings is really not about going to visit the king and queen and sort of like saying, oh, please, sir, I hope you like me, but really being in the space of, sort of an energetic, friendly conversation that is, as I say in some of those other videos, very similar to what you might see on Jimmy Kimmel or any of those late night talk shows. Quite often, if you think about it, perhaps those celebrities come onto a show for the first time. They don't know Jimmy Kimmel. They've never met the host of that show, but they come in with an energy that seems normal and friendly, like the person next door talking to a neighbor. That's really the energy. So I really support you in finding it in yourself to psych yourself into a space of relaxation and friendliness so that you can show who you really are and talk about things the way you do and bring your personality to the table for any general meeting and any kind of meeting at all. So I hope that's helpful. If it is, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel so that you get all of these videos which come out every single week about the writing life. Check out yourcreativelife.com, which is the hub for all things coaching, where you can find out about how I can help you and also find out some free information like subscribing to our newsletter, checking out the podcast, the Secret Writer Podcast, which is now seen, heard in 18 countries throughout the world. That's about it for this video. I will see you next time.